But in a world where nowadays the problems are not so well defined, the challenges are not handed to you and go, please solve it, they will be crippled. And we saw that with AI. AI can now outthink you. Only value for us now is how do we instruct AI on problem to solve and how to solve it. And if we don't have that skill, without that training, you are simply AI minus.
So Andy, you're a lecturer for so many years. Do you see a failure in our education system?
Failure, yeah.
Wow, this kind of question.
For sure you see one, right?
For sure you see failures. I mean, I've been lecturing for more than 3 years in SMU. I was a student. I went through what I thought back then was, wow, really eye-opening program. We were one of the first to do information systems, meant to be the connector between business and IT. Because we always say, right, business people cannot understand IT people. IT people talk, business can't understand. That's why innovation always jam, right?
Yes.
So we were the breed created to be the best bridge and communicator between, understand both. All my friends are all made it to some VP in the bank, handling IT. That's the typical path. But I didn't do that. I went to build products. Every company that I was at, I always had a product mindset. Can I build something that solves problems? And the thing I mainly learned is problem solving is a critical skill that maybe our system hasn't really been teaching or enforcing throughout our formal education years. Take for instance, you go to a lecture now. Lecture, already, you got 16 weeks, you've got all this curriculum, you know what score you need to get for whichever exam, kind of this is the template answer, like that, all given to you, right? And you just score. So our system was built to perform to a requirement. But what's the problem to solve there? The problem to solve is, how do I understand the requirement and just solve that? If I don't have that, if the problem is not defined, how do you solve it there? And that's where I think our system hasn't trained our students enough. So I came back to SMU because one of my professors back in the day took over the course to teach comm science students about product management. They had a bit of foresight. They were like, hey, software engineers everywhere, right?
Yes.
How many of them are actually good at building beyond just what they're told to build? Can they look for problems that they could solve with their skills and value add to the organization? So the product mindset, right? So they created this course and made every comm science student take it. So comm science as a faculty grew, and they needed more lecturers. So they called a few of us who are crazy enough to find time to teach. So came back and we are adjunct lecturers. Right. Thankfully, we have a master's degree, all right, so we can still teach. And then we realized very quickly that most students have no interest. All the comm science students have no interest in learning how to solve problems. They are just told, tell me what to build, I build faster than you. I build better than you. But in a world where nowadays the problems are not so well defined, the challenges are not handed to you and go, please solve it, they will be crippled. And we saw that with AI. AI can now outthink you, outdo. Exactly.
Yep.
Only value for us now is how do we instruct AI on what problem to solve and how to solve it. And if we don't have that skill, without that training, you are simply AI minus. And I think that's where our education system need to prioritize a lot more effort in equipping and challenging our students to that.
So what's the name of the module that you were...
Literally called software product management. And
but that's very technical based, right? So where does the bridging come in?
Good question. The initial curriculum was literally lifted off a textbook. Like there's a textbook called How to Build Product. And it's all the methods like, you need to plot the chart this way, measure things this way, and then create this document.
Very project management.
So we saw it, we're like, cannot. So it was me and one of Carro's co-founders.
Okay.
We're still very great friends. And two of us took a look at the course and we told our prof, like, hey, can we rework the curriculum a bit? And prof was excited. Prof was like, yeah, I think we need to inject a lot more practical, right, applicable knowledge and frameworks into it and make them do a project. Tekan them one time project. So it was no longer just come in and just perform. Week 1, first lesson, we said, end of today's lesson, you have to decide on a business problem that your team will solve as a project.
Interesting.
And we need you to validate the problem by next week and present as your business problem with validated feedback from the users you're solving for, and you'll be judged on the problem. Then you go, but we com science How you want me to talk to people? Like, yeah lah, talk to people lah.
Yeah.
Can't just talk to the computer, right? Then we, okay lah. Then they look at each other. I talk to you, bro. Then I talk to you. Cannot. What's the problem you're trying to solve?
Yeah.
So we ask them, are you trying to solve problem for fellow com science students? They go, I don't know problem yet. Got problem ah? Got problem or not? Got problem or not? Go and figure out lah. So stretch them. The typical problems that come back. How to buy food cheap on campus and during the right break times, because we only have 15 minutes to go and buy snack. Then tapai everywhere, sure, long queue. Then I hungry how? And a full day of lesson how? Let's solve the problem. I go, okay, valid problem. Define the persona a bit better. Students, what kind of student,
Okay.
Why is there a problem, right? So they're getting there. Another one is, we want to find a more cost-effective way to take our rides around Singapore. But very challenging. I open Grab app, then I open Tada, then open Gojek, check pricing. By the time I found the right price, I booked too late already. Very late to do it. I want to solve it. Build a product to solve it. Okay, can. Right? So these problems that come up, solve their problems.
Okay.
Yes.
We have international students also who said, when I was trying to apply to come, I don't know what schools, I don't know what program will fit my grades, my culture, this and that. How do I create a product that can help foreign students to find the right degree to go to? So we'll tell them, great, you have these ideas. Now let's refine it into a proper how might we statement. Map out what is the pains and what are the gains that you could solve and you could value add. So we teach them frameworks to think. As they think, then they realize, wow, maybe it's a very easy problem. They start building. They forget that there's actually a lot more thinking needed to understand the real problem to solve. For instance, the problem of pricing for taking rides, right?
Yeah, ride hailing.
So what if you can find the right price? How do you sustain it as a business so that you can keep running the app, not at your own cost, but hopefully make some money, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if not, you're not adding value, but if you can't extract value from your users,
Yep.
So after they think, I can build this, I go, but how do you
So they
sustain
make
it?
money lah. Yeah.
Money. They go, advertising? Advertising, can. How often? How much can you make from advertising? And you see, if the business problem is people don't have time and they are impatient to find which ride-hailing app to use, then you largely want to inject ads there. Isn't it contradictory to the value you're trying to bring? Then they, oh yeah. Then at the same time, we go, have you checked whether the data is available for you to even pull? You think what, Grab, Tada, Gojek openly show you all the data?
Yeah.
Cannot be, right? Then they, oh yeah. So it no longer stays as an engineering problem. It also moves to a business problem. That's where the problem solving comes in. And unless you're experienced as a lecturer, you can't probe them that way. You probe them and go, maybe your problem statement missing this component, almost like a
Guided, handhold.
But it might not go down to the crux of the problem. And that's where
No practical problem.
no
that you're trying to
implication
solve.
you are trying to solve, right? So that's where we inject our business sense and our market sensitivity, turn it into a real project, and we force the students to think through all this. At the end of the midterm, by week 7, some of them have no projects because we have literally destroyed whatever they thought was great by week 6.
Then how? They fail.
They don't, because it's all about growth, right?
Yes.
As long as they learn and apply it. I also tell the students, if there are 40 of you in this room, and if my class 包jiak you take, then you all become billionaire, right? Wow, I teach one class, you all can quit already, I also fight already,
Yeah.
I seed fund you all 10K each, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But building a business is not so simple, right?
Yeah.
So to them, it's learning and improving, and that was my end goal.
So you grade them on the progress of the...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So by week 7, you have nothing totally trashed. Can I still nudge you and you force yourself out of your comfort zone to find a real problem to solve? And by week 14, you present very rough sketch of your idea in even a prototype, a Figma prototype or whatever. And as long as you're able to progress to something that I feel can solve the problem and you address the real need, I'll give you a good grade.
Okay.
So that's how we measure and how we inspire the students.
So in your opinion, right, why do you think students nowadays has no such short of a better word, critical thinking or out of the box thinking kind of thing. Is it
Singapore?
Is it a culture thing? Is it a Singapore thing? Is it a Asian thing?
Yeah, is it young people
Those
thing?
we tend to be a bit more. Okay, let's put it in context. In Asia, we tend to be a little bit more kiasu in a way, right? We tend to go for survival. We want to be on the top leading in our grades and things like that.
Yeah.
Right? But for you to say that statement, it seems like they are no longer caring for grades. And you also mentioned the word not interested. What do you think causes this change?
I think the current young generation are not as constrained as we were when we were growing up. And it's not like I'm very old, I'm maybe 1.5 generation ahead of them only, right? But back then it was about, our parents' generation is about survival. Do whatever I need to survive. Our generation was more, do whatever I need to get success. And Singapore laid a very clear path of success for many of us. Score well in PSLE, go to a good school, do well, you go law, you go medicine, or you get scholarship.
Yeah.
Then you do well there, you move forward, then you get a good paying job after that. And then you're a doctor, done, right? Specialist, open clinic, GCB, wine cellar, done.
Yeah.
Right? Lawyer, partner, done.
Yeah.
Businessman, got path, man. Have never heard of it. But how many % of our population run businesses and actually employ people to work their business? We've got 300,000 SMEs in Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Okay, 300,000 companies, out of which 99% are SMEs.
Yes, 99%.
99% SMEs, What education did we give to them? Nothing, because it's not a set path. How about arts? How about sports? How about cultural stuff that actually can make money in other economies, but not in Singapore? Because our path again to success back then was, let's be a manufacturing hub. Let's be financial hub. So the education system was also geared towards putting skilled workers in those sectors. So that path to success was there. But for everyone that didn't meet that path, where was their success? Maybe overseas, maybe you didn't get a path, then you go, I need to build a business, because no one's going to hire me for what I think I'm worth. I need to build my own. And so a lot of business people didn't come from that path. And they are successful up to a level. Can they scale beyond that? No, because they were not taught how to be business people. They just grind until they did something well, and hopefully they get people who can structure things well, right? So if I look at the system, we had that path.
Yes.
Now, this generation, look at the path and go, but that's not the meaningful path for me. And I'm not in that much need also. I'm okay. My parents, got a small pot of not gold honey that I can still eat from. I want to do meaningful stuff. I'm in control of my life. I've got social media. I've got online. I can learn everything. Why must I follow that path? So are grades as important? For some, yes, because they believe that path is
there was always going to be that population.
But for the rest that didn't have the path in the past, there is a path now that you can lay on your own. Who has given or shown them that path? Who has told them the blueprint to the path is that we don't have that. Maybe that's what's missing to steer some of these students towards it. Else, they're either going to say there is a path for me, or there's no path and I must chart my own future in whichever crazy way I want to. And that's where a lot of people like to say Gen Z don't know how to manage them. Don't go office, don't wear office clothes, don't wear bums and slipper, right? And that's because they didn't have a model, right? For many of those that didn't follow that path.
So in your experience, is there a country in the world that has done this reasonably well?
Done which part? You mean
the showing you that there is a path outside of that standard?
If you look at the more developed economies, and I'll say developed economies also have their failings. Yeah, they got into so big and so entrenched in certain old ways that, yes, you allow different demographies and possibilities to flourish, but there's still systemic issues that they can't fix. Like look at Europe, very stuck, right? The financial system, the legal system, very stuck. But sometimes when they're so stuck and they can't unstuck it, opportunity arise. They have to take the fate in their own hands. You look at Vietnam today, that's exactly what's happening. After the war, they literally, obliterated, right?
Yeah.
The men, where are they? It was left with women and children, right? For a lot of them. So the women become entrepreneurs and go and start their own thing. Government was decimated. What do? Just let people do what they need to, law. As long as you don't kill people, you don't steal.
Keep the law in order. Yeah.
Just do, right? Therefore, they became so entrepreneurial and so hungry. So a lot of times, opportunity comes from chaos, right?
Yeah.
And when you are too structured and you are too protective, you don't give enough of the challenge also for your people to rise above. Yeah. So Vietnam, great success. Europe had its ups and downs, but there's still pockets of that happening. Can we learn something from there? I'm not saying let's destroy safety nets, but how do we create more challenge to our current generation so that they can flex and they can grow? Yeah.
Yeah, and on the other job, right? I mean, since we talk about SMEs, growing and all, right?
Yeah.
Your other job is at IMDA.
That's my main job, not
That's
other
the main
job.
job, right? That's the main job.
Main job.
Right.
Yes,
so
yes,
on
yes.
that topic itself, maybe want to share with us what do you do there actually?
Sure. I am the Deputy Director in SMEs Go Digital. It's a program that the government has put in place for the last 8-9 years as a way to properly provide the right approved tools, digital tools mainly, for SMEs to adopt, all to drive productivity. Whether they can sell more, whether they can be more efficient, whether they can improve their processes, all our solutions are meant to be able to drive that. So my team have to also work with different sector agencies. For example, Enterprise Singapore that leads retail, leads the food F&B industries, all the way down to even Ministry of Home Affairs that handles all your security, all your jaga at your buildings and your condos, down to even hotels, tour agencies. We work with each of them to understand the sector, identify what are the biggest business problems they face. And then my team will have to go there and scout what solutions have been proven that not just work for that sector, but also work for Singapore SMEs. So we don't just take anything randomly that we find on Google search and we say, anyone can take. Like we need proof that these solutions work and are affordable for Singapore SMEs. Then we would approve them to be sold to our SMEs and we provide a grant for that. So that's in a nutshell what my program does. But we know that it's not as simple as just put it there and people will come.
Yeah.
So my team puts it there and I've got other colleagues who drive the awareness and get either the solution vendors or the SMEs to connect so that whatever we provide can be adopted and utilized by our SMEs. So that's my main job.
Are you able to cite some examples of
Sure.
products or vendors?
Oh, sure. Like if you go to any restaurant, coffee shop.
Robot.
No lah, the robot one, we all know lah, that one don't have not much difference lah.
Okay.
But if you look at the payment systems, you look at you got the little machine with the QR code now that you scan and pay, it links to the receipt, So the whole restaurant management system, down to the kitchen management, down to inventory, those are solutions that we approve lah.
Okay.
And then the vendors can go and sell and go, hey, 50% grant support for the first year. You want to take or not? Yeah. So we have restaurant management, we've got retail management, salon management, all the way down to accounting, finance, audit firms can take audit management systems. Any SME can also take up e-commerce system if they want to build an e-commerce presence online. If they need digital marketing to help them get started to build their own brand and market themselves online, we also have digital marketing solutions for them. And of course, recently, in the last 2 years, we launched a lot more AI-enabled solutions. Of course, chatbots, but not just dumb chatbot. And we make sure that the requirements are the chatbot needed to help you with a transaction or at least a activity. So whether it connects to the CRM to pull out your past records or help you to adjust your past purchases, the chatbot must be smart enough to do things like that. Another category that we have seen quite well adopted recently has been marketing content generation. So how do you use AI to build your IG posts without paying a freelancer or agency to do it?
Yeah.
Right? Or help you write blog posts so you can increase your SEO. So we also have been supporting those categories for SMEs to adopt.
So I'm curious, the vendors provide the solutions?
That's right.
And are there many of such vendors or just have select few?
We have about more than 300 solution vendors today.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, across about 15 to 20 categories of solutions. And they have to apply to be in the program through my team. So we have quite a stringent criteria.
Okay.
They have to prove that there's track record. They're
They
able to
don't
support
fly by
SME.
night. Yeah, okay.
We also look at the financials, make sure, cannot all of a sudden pokai, then,
Yeah, then how?
whoever SME pay for suddenly no more, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what's productivity? I think this word is thrown around a lot by your government, your senior management, right?
Yeah.
But to the layman and to business owners, what exactly is productivity?
Do more with less.
So do I do more?
It could be do more sales with the same salespeople. It could be I clear more of my transactions, manage customer cases with the same headcount, or maybe I don't even need a human. I don't have to hire a human, and I do some new process lah. So whatever I input as a business on my cost, I get outsized, output in terms of profit, revenue. That to us is the productivity gain lah. And you can either lower cost or improve top line. Both also works lah. Yeah.
Do you actually measure the denominator? Because most of the time people look at the numerator, right? More revenue, more output. But then do they any studies into reducing?
So this is where again,
Like, okay, so for example, interesting thought would be actually all my guys, right? They don't work 5 days anymore, they work 3.
yeah,
But no one does anyone measure that?
there is intent, and then there is the actual outcome lah.
Okay.
And if you guys are frequent survey takers of the government survey, and also read on Reddit, too many surveys on government recently lah. Every agency also send you survey. You also have survey fatigue, right? So we also know that I shouldn't ask so many questions lah. I can ask but how accurate are the answers going to come back? And then they don't answer me because I keep spamming them. Also not useful for me.
Yeah.
So as an agency, we are also very cognizant that we need to shoot the right bullet at the right time. So asking too much, not useful sometimes. What we then want to do is have enough conversations with companies that really have benefited from it, and create sort of like a prototype or a persona of these companies. And hope we can then use that to inspire other companies to become like that. Instead of asking every company, hey, you adopt already, how many people do you save? Hey, do you hire more? Do you not hire? Wow, you 5 people, complete MOM. We cannot do that, right?
Okay.
Who
But when
adopt
you
us?
give the grant, they will have to accept that they would need to come back to you with some data, right?
They will lah.
Okay.
They will, but it's not like hold a gun to it and say, you tell me
If
wrong.
they're busy, then
Correct.
lah.
So
Okay,
whatever
okay.
they tell us is a lot of times anecdotal, or the best effort. I
Best
think
effort
I save
basis.
some money here and there. And as long as they feel that they have, we hope
Achieve
for the best for them.
Okay.
Well, I think the onus on them after all is their own business.
Absolutely. And we can only give them as much. There are also other conditions like Iran war, economy,
yeah.
and that might affect things. And it's unfair for us to say, oh, you never hit, because there are different things can happen.
Yeah.
So we just look at it trending and aggregate how they're doing. If they're doing well as a cohort over time, then we believe we should keep doing this and fine tune along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Andy, walk us through your journey. How do you even get to where you are now?
Wow. A lot of just taking the opportunity as it comes. I got into this role in the government because I was very interested in helping SMEs. I was also an SME myself, running business before. So I know the challenges. And I've seen peers who struggle with the business because there's no one there to just give them a bit of advice or to be the safe expert, trusted expert for them, right? When they have technology needs. So I have a friend who was my TCM doctor lah. I've got torn ligament here and there, whatever. Then she just poked me until I'm not dead anymore lah. Now half dead lah, right? And she was struggling with how to manage her clients, how to collect payment. Her payment collection is here is my pay now QR you scan. And I asked her, do you
How
track?
to reconcile?
Yeah. Then how do you track? My bookkeeper, Then I say, then the staff, they collect for you, how she check? She can't check, because it's my bank account, so she cannot access and see.
Yeah.
I go, then how do you know the payment's collected? Then she tell me, sometimes cannot fake. I go, alamak. So how can I help her?
Yeah.
And she literally didn't know what to do. She had a staff that was quite good with like setting up Excel sheets to track stuff.
Yeah.
But the staff left.
Okay.
Then she like, oh lama, okay.
Then jalan
Right? So I just told her, hey, I tell you what, help me build a form. I use one of the platforms, Jot form, can collect signature, can do declaration, can then after that export it out on Excel. Then I can do a bit of simple automation for you . Then collecting payment, okay I'll tell you what you just collect. Every day you do a reconciliation, right, with your bookkeeper, and at least you have some view . And she went, how to do? I go, I do for you . So I literally own self go and figure out for her. And we became a very good friends after that. But how many SMEs have someone like that?
Yeah.
And we hope that, well, I think economically it's tough to assign an expert friend for every SME, because can you imagine how much it costs? So we want to see whether a digital first approach can work. So my team also built a platform called the SMEs Go Digital.gov.sg. And we hope that SMEs can go to our portal and do a bit more self-service. And we know you'll be more savvy SMEs can do it . Can't be your uncle, auntie, own self can do, right?
Definitely.
But we try to shift more users to self-serve. And if we still need humans intervention, we have partners. We have SMEs Center that's run by the different Chamber of Commerce. We've got SBF that can help us. We find people that are more incentive aligned, right? So we still hope we can touch every SME, help them find a trusted friend, but it is a long journey.
Yeah. So Andy, when you first graduate, what was the first job?
Whoa. I realized you were talking about how did I get into this, right? So my first job was in StarHub, our telco, in telco. And I was the guy who, any random project that the management had, and they didn't know who to throw in, I went .
Warrior.
Special forces.
Warrior.
Warrior, thank you. Wow, sounds more cool now.
Yes.
And things I did, one of the earliest things I did, before there was Apple Pay and Android Pay,
Google Pay and all,
Google Pay, before there was that, we ran a pilot with EasyLink, with DBS, with LTA was sort of in it, with IDA at the time, with M1, and we said, can we create a contactless payment ecosystem that allows users to pay with their phones on public transport and also at retail? That was 2010.
Oh, wow.
That was iPhone 3GS. iPhone 5 days. iPhone 4, iPhone 5 days. Those days, Blackberries were still a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those days, replaceable batteries on phones were still a thing.
Yeah.
And there was no contactless payment. There was no NFC antenna yet.
Got EasyLink lah.
Correct, but easily not in the phone.
It's a card. It's a physical
So
card.
sometimes people will like just slap the EasyLink
stick on it
on the phone and then just tap.
So solution is 3M. Yeah, that's the contactless.
But then that's true. But geek lah. So we're like, let's do a more cool way. We literally found a vendor that had a flexible antenna that can have a part of it that attaches to the SIM card.
Oh.
And the SIM card will store your EasyLink and your credit card details. And the antenna, because flexible, foldable, you can fold it such that you can slot it on top of a battery and below the back cover of the phone.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
So we added it to a Samsung S2 or S3. We added it to a few Sony Ericsson phones and put on Blackberries. And we thought, yay, we innovated. We added function that wasn't there before. People are going to buy it. Confirm people will swap their SIM card for this new SIM, sign up for a new EasyLink card and DBS credit card and tap and spend. Didn't happen, man.
What went wrong?
Change management didn't happen.
Also, people are not aware of it lah.
Yeah.
I think something I learned in my career. I did product most of my life, right? StarHub. I was in Great Eastern. Also, I did product and digital transformation. Then also, in my startups, I also held a bit of a product head. Even SMEs Go Digital now, I'm still a product owner. I own the digital product. I also have to decide what products to give to SMEs for them to adopt. And the one thing I've learned is that timing is everything. and the arena you play in, you need to understand it enough before you start. So like earlier when I talked about my students having this, business problem that they want to solve, right? A lot of times the conditions are just not right to be solved. Then you don't start. So one thing we should have realized back then was that our objective back then to launch this contactless payment trial was people can pay with their phones to take train, to take bus.
Okay.
So we didn't do a critical check. We didn't check whether all our train stations and bus terminals all accept our payment. So apparently back in those days, North-East line ran a different system from the East-West line and the North-South line.
Yeah.
Because it was run by two companies, MRT and SDS.
Yes.
The guys running on the old school Japanese standard that was already prevalent in Japan didn't work with our system. Because we are using newer technology. We are using the open standards, more publicly available, and not a closed system that's owned by the Japanese.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if a user of our system wanted to take train from Simei to like Serangoon?
Oh, they cannot.
Cannot.
They
You
cannot
finish.
tap out.
Yeah, they tap out already, cannot tap back in.
Yes.
So it becomes disjointed. Some buses also work, some didn't work. And we didn't do all that ground sensing and identify all the potential issues before we start. Because we thought, got government support, IDA say go, we go lah. So
But
we went to...
that's counterintuitive to innovation, what? If you do all the work, right, and then you realize that, then you do, that's not innovation, ma. Innovation is sometimes is meant to break apart things, right?
You are right. So if I was, but let's think about it too. If I was a business owner, and if my business case was I want to earn from people taking transport, then I shouldn't even start, right?
Yes.
But if I found other use cases like maybe P2P transfer, maybe it's paying at some retailer, maybe Gong Cha very big, then Gong Cha exclusive, accept this, maybe everyone buy from there. Maybe that's business case. But the other part was there was no contactless terminals at the retail yet. And EasyLink, people only remember it as take train, take bus.
Yes, the transportation card.
But then who will use EasyLink to pay when you go and shop at Zara, shop at, they don't want.
Yep.
So we also went with our DBS colleagues, our partners, went to all the shops and say, hey, I have this terminal, got this big thing I want to put at your checkout there, so people can tap. They look at it, what's this? And they were like, you put for free for you you put You go, but my customer don't use that They slot card I need to give them the thing they slot card in.
Yeah, the slot
card, right?
Yeah.
And we say, no need card, next time use phone. How many people? Then we tell them the trial number, the trial user number. Then they, don't waste time, no need lah. Then the DBS guy was persistent, right? Account manager, right? I give you free bro, take. So they take the terminal. So whenever...
Go underneath.
Correct. Whenever a DBS guy comes, they take out.
Yes.
DBS guy they put back.
Yeah.
So we had no one who tap and pay at the retail also. So the business case of innovation need to also look at the market conditions and and where you really can play to win. Cannot be just po heng sui, hope that things will develop. And so me getting into my roles is, especially IMDA right now, is really by a bit of a faith journey for me, thinking that I've learned all these about product management. I've learned about how do I scale businesses. Can I bring some of the learnings and throw it into the most scalable program around to drive SME adoption, right? Digital adoption. So that was the reason why I joined.
Yeah. And you mentioned startup. What startup were you at?
I was the COO in Carro.
Oh, wow.
The car marketplace, largest car marketplace, Southeast Asia. Yes, the other one is not the largest. We are the largest, right? And I also started a venture building startup called Wildcats.
Oh, wow.
Together with a few friends. We were a company started during COVID. So only 1 year into the company, then we actually met each other in person. It was quite a shock.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a shock.
So you came together virtually?
Yeah, virtually. One founder from US, one Vietnam, and me.
How did that even happen?
Friends.
You swipe them until
Swipe
until you
business Tinder.
Yeah.
No, it was just through connections. And say, hey, there's this thing that's happening. Are you interested to join? And then we met online, have a few chats, a few emails, and then next thing you know, we are on Zoom every day. And we thought, okay, this could work. And then we tried.
What's Wildcats? Is it a high school team or something?
Everyone always asks us,
Yeah.
High School Musical, is it? And then we're like,
Like sports team.
so actually one of our founders, he's a big fan of American football.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
And in American football, there's this formation called the Wildcats formation.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Wildcat formation is typically to place people who are not balanced against the opponent. So you don't put a big guy with a big guy. You put a slightly smaller guy.
Yeah.
You reshuffle your resource. So you create a not a confusion, but an alternative attack strategy.
Yeah.
And so our founder really loved that concept and say, I think that's how our Gen Zs today have to innovate. They need to find an unbalance, but find where the unique strengths are, build real value around it, and that's how they can innovate in whichever space they're in. And the company was built during a time where COVID has disrupted traditional businesses. A lot of your bread and butter, retail, FMCG business started to take a hit.
Yeah.
And a lot of brands are screaming for how else can I tap onto new markets. So a few of the ventures that we helped build were very D2C businesses. And why Wildcats also kind of worked as a name was because we wanted to attract Gen Z entrepreneurs from universities or right out of school who might have a different mindset or different perspective of how to solve problems. So we wanted to guide them through the venture building process, help them with some of the more professional things that we can do, but empower them so that they can turn their ideas into an actual business. And then support the bigger brands. And they are like food manufacturing brands, auto brands, large soft drink manufacturer. How do you then help them create new markets, new campaigns, new ways of attracting customers? They've never done it before. So that's what Wildcats was about. One of the interesting projects that we did was with at least a pitch. We didn't go that far, but the pitch was for a chocolate brand. Chocolate brand that saw that its sales were not exactly hitting highs, right? And back then, we saw Gen Zs going crazy about Web3, NFTs, crypto.
Yeah. The timing, yes.
That was the timing.
There was a time, right? But instead of everyone buying a Bored Ape, there were other value that the NFTs could bring, because it was bring identity, bring community, bring some sort of belonging, right? So we explored, how could we help a brand build a different pool of loyal customers or build community through NFTs? So some of the students started to ideate to create a branding campaign that also include distributing NFTs. So you can imagine you buy a chocolate egg and you could potentially have an NFT. Go and scan. The next thing you know, oh, my wallet, I got an NFT. And it could be one of, they like to say this is a one of one or one of 10,000, right?
Yes.
It could be one of one, right? So, what if you suddenly get a new group of customers that are crazy about it, not only because your product is good, but the value behind it, the community that you can be part of. So the students had a bit of idea, but we also inject the idea and help them turn it into a business case. And the technology part, we also had a team who was the tech team to help to understand smart contracts, build a little bit, and then help the students along the way. So projects like that, projects like creating a new concept for drinks distribution. One of them was called Trip on Me, one of the companies.
Trip on Me.
Trip on Me.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Not bottle, not trip, like have a trip. So COVID, lockdown, you can't go parties. They bring the party to the house.
Oh.
So they will partner with the different drinks and food provider. You want a party, okay, this is the whole party pack. They will bring the party to the house. And they set up for you with the right mix of your F&B and so on. So this was to also increase distribution for our F&B, FMCG partners, right? As a new channel, a new go-to-market. So they also did that for a while. Then they realized that, hey, I just can't take inventory only. I'm not interesting enough. They started creating their own drinks. So they created their own drinks, their own food, and they started selling that as well. So they also learn as we, guide them along and create new innovation. So that's what we did.
Yeah. And you mentioned COO. What do you do there?
What did I do at Carro?
You have to drive the cars around to sell.
The part I failed. Not so good. I tried to sell a few times. I realized, selling is hard, man.
Yeah.
I was very keen on building a sustainable, high-performing company. So when I first joined, that was after we raised Series B. Aaron, our co-founder, called me and said, hey, I think come finally let's join the family lah. We are all friends who try to build a better business. And Aaron's mantra was always, we want to transform the car industry, right? We want to transform it. We always believe that the car buying experience, car buying and selling was quite broken. There were middlemen that just didn't want to truly help both sides. They want to obfuscate, want to hide information so that you squeeze money off both sides, sell a lousy car to a guy, or buy a car and fearmonger the guy to giving you a good price. Like, that's usually how car dealers make money, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted it to be transparent. We wanted to be like honest deal, and we just take a small transaction fee lah, right? So that was the values that company was built on. But car sales is tough lah. It's still sales and it's large ticket items. So we need to bring the right people in. Right people that had a heart to change the industry and not just here to make a quick buck. We are also a technology first company. So we needed people who are paid right skill set to then build the right tech tools, right? So I came in hoping that I think we need to build the right team first. So I took on head of people, right? Try to figure out compensation, try to hire the right folks. Over time, then started to dabble into the sales and operations of Singapore marketplace. Had to, of course, pivot business model. Every time I see something don't work, okay, pivot. And then over time, we also had to get into Indonesia market, Thai market, Malaysia market, either going in there to advise or going there to support the management team there on how they grow or make tough decisions. And I think this was the most fun thing I did. We launched a product called the car subscriptions as well. So we saw a trend, and this was me putting on a hat of maybe a millennial / maybe, not Gen Z yet, I'm millennial, right?
Yeah.
But more and more people are not so keen on owning assets, especially when cars are depreciating assets.
Okay.
So one of these eureka moments was I was at Reservist, and I was one of those that were forgotten by SAF until 10 years later. Then
they call you back.
So there's a bunch of us who are like way too old. All of us
Can't do anything.
Yeah, like all the downgrade already. And there's a bunch that's quite a lot younger. The younger one started work maybe 2-3 years ago. And suddenly I see him driving a GLA. I was like, hey, wow, making dough, drive GLA. He go, this is lease one. Lease? Lease a GLA? Yeah. How much you pay? 2.5K? 3K? I like, you want me to fork out 3K a month? Okay, I don't need to own it. Not happy, I can return.
Yeah.
My lease only 2 years. Then, not happy, change car, change. Then I look at the condition of the car. I was like, wow, bro, this car's sweet. What you do? This one my own car. Every weekend go and polish. Huh? What, you polish? Lease what?
Lease, right? Yeah.
Then you still see he zheng here, zheng there a bit, no? I'm like,
wow.
why?
Yeah, how?
Because he feel like even though he doesn't own the asset, he pay every month. It's as if he owns it, And to him, it's the same as, I sell the car, I also will let go, right? So I zheng my car, I sell. No different from I lease the car and I return.
Yes.
Also give to someone else, right?
Yeah.
Whoever it is, at a point in time. So I want to enjoy my car now. Therefore, little bit here, some speaker there, lights here, I do. So that got me thinking. And he's not the only one. There are like 3 of them that lease. Of course, you've got the GLA, then you've got the Cerato, so not only the premium guy, right? So I went back and talked to my management team and I said, I think there's an opportunity here. Shall we experiment and see whether there's a market for people who just want to pay monthly without paying the big fat down payment for a car? Maybe we can make some margin of it. At that time, we already had a business of buying private hire cars and then we lease it out to private hire drivers.
Yeah.
It's not a big business, but it's just good cash flow business.
Yeah.
And we had a team that were quite familiar with the industry and can find drivers and constantly fill our inventory. So I thought same skill set. So again, I think another important business lesson, you have to hone on to your skill set that you think you're good at, then you build from there. You build competency and enter new market. Wow, tough, big failure. So we had competency on buying cars and managing the process of leasing it out, getting money, find drivers. But we didn't have the right cars that I think were desirable.
Okay.
So we also wonder what's desirable in the market. So of course we talked to a few car dealers and realized that we could get some Kias and Hyundais, but we could also get BMWs. We could get some BMW, and we were toying. BMW, what range can we get that we think people would pay on a monthly? 1 series or 5 series? We're like, maybe try 1 series and 3 series lah. Okay lor. So I had to convince CMO, convince my operations, head of ops and sales. Then we all went to convince Aaron lah. Hey boss, why don't we try experiment? He went, prove to me, got people buy first. Prove to me. If not, I won't authorize this project. Okay. Talk to tech. Can you build us a simple landing page and collect wish list?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we spent $100 in marketing and we got 3,000
Oh, wow.
waitlisted users.
Wow. Okay.
And all we did was, you want a Kia, you want, I think, was it A-Class or a BM3 series?
Yeah.
3,000. Then we were like, hey, we don't have cash to go and buy so many cars to go and,
Yeah.
go and let people subscribe, man. Okay, we start small. So we did. And it was a roaring marketing success.
Wow.
And that helped to boost the brand, that we are not just SG Carmart, we're not just carousel where you go and list your car and sell and buy. We are a legitimate automotive lifestyle business. And want to make a difference in how people view what a car is and how they can own one or drive the desired car without taking up all these crazy loans, right?
Okay.
So with that position, then we're able to then keep growing, and eventually we hit $1 billion valuation. Yeah.
Sure, you don't just lease those cars that you can't sell.
Because a lot of times it depends on how much people are willing to pay for it. Actually a common practice in the car industry, if you go to carousel, you will see a lot of car dealers actually will rent out cars that have been stuck on their lot for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because every day it's stuck there, they are
Losing
losing depreciation,
money,
right?
yes.
So might as well just lease it out to a guy for a month or two.
Yep.
Right? And the insurance pays for it anyway.
Yep.
Right? Got problem. Then you get the guy who
Person who does it, do
pay
it.
for it some more, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, it helps you to keep your liquidity, or help you make some money off your asset. But you still need cash to buy the asset first.
Yep.
If it's stuck for too long, and the margins for business is mainly from rolling the inventory, right?
The buy sell.
Yeah.
So for us, we don't want to prioritize the leasing of vehicle. I want to buy and sell.
Yes.
That's still the main.
And anytime if I have to
Because
shift,
if not, then you will hold the asset and the monies are locked up there.
correct.
Yeah.
And then there's still operations to shift from being a car to buy and sell to a car to be leased. There's insurance you got attached to it, all that. So administratively, it's not. Now with tech, maybe it's easier.
Maybe it's easier.
Yeah, but back then it was also like, wow,
It's still a bit of paperwork to do.
headache. So, therefore, if you are car leasing business, you just do that damn well. If you are buy and sell business, also not ideal to keep creating different workflows to manage same asset. Unless bo pian, then we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Andy, with that, right, let's hit to our ENSO segment. This is the ENSO segment. Over the course of interviewing and networking, we realized that many people do not know what question to ask. Hence, we came up with this. It's as simple as pick up a card and ask that question. So Andy, this is the ENSO segment. Pick your 2 cards.
All right. I'm going to pick tests, allies, and
This one?
SMEs.
Okay.
This one.
All right.
And I'm going to pick
The casino.
crossing the threshold. Let's go with this one.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
All right. So
All right.
your first questions under the category of tests, allies, and enemies, right, will be how do you deal with your competitors or adversaries in your field? Wow, this one a tough question.
Actually, it's not that tough. I think I also developed that muscle over time. And I'll use Carro as the reference point. I think beginning of our journey, we always thought we were competitors with everyone else because we were trying to change the industry, right? That wasn't the right move. Because sometimes competitors can become your best friends. You are competing against other competitors, right? And in the car world, you've got big players. Then you've got small players who might have their own niche. I learned this the hard way when I realized that my business should pivot not just to direct buy and sell from end consumer, but to also buy and sell from car dealers.
Okay.
And for the longest time, car dealers say, Carro trying to kill us, trying to be our enemy. It took a long time for us to convince some of them that we are actually here to be your friends too. And strategically, how do you deal with competitors then? You have to also find some of them that are not your biggest competitor, but if you both win together, you can beat out
The biggest
bigger competitor.
Okay.
And the adversaries, I think you have to make friends. Because you never know when they might want to kill you, And it's better that they look at you as someone that they kind of like and don't want to just, do you bad, than to outright say, this guy will never give me respect or never bother with me.
Just
no feeling, just kill.
Yeah.
So make friends everywhere and find competitors that might even help you along at the right time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice.
Okay, the second question. How did you adapt to new demands and expectations of your career?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mentioned I was in product since I started work. And like the students that I thought product was about just building the coolest thing. So like that payment system, build the coolest thing, users will come. And I neglected that the understanding of my users, understanding the condition in which my innovation will happen, all that come into play besides just building the coolest stuff. Because you're building cool stuff, you're an inventor. You're not actually an entrepreneur, right? And I learned that when one day I chanced upon this concept called design thinking. And yes, it's a bit of I won't say smelly word, but everyone's like, design thinking, what is that? Like, designer. Or they think it's passé already.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the most eye-opening thing I've learned.
Oh.
I paid money out of my own pocket to go and learn. What is design thinking? And that's because I finally, after seeing some examples, realized that if you have the process to think through your problems and have a structured way to design a solution to a problem, you are much better odds than you just have a crazy idea, build, and hope it works. So I went to learn design thinking and pivoted my career from a product manager to hopefully a user experience designer. And I was like, who's going to take a bet on me, man? I don't know lah, like, where can I go? I'm a nobody, no design background, can't draw stuff, primary school art fail kind. And somehow I met a mentor of mine now over a coffee. He was the user experience, like head of the user experience lab in Great Eastern. You think Great Eastern got good user experience, man? Because don't have, therefore I need a lab to build it, ma.
That's why you're needed.
So he was there, for a few years building a lab to convince the whole Great Eastern group that user experience will drive the next phase of growth. It's not just about having cheaper products, but it's also about the experience. And of course, we saw AIA doing a lot, right? Then Pru also a bit. Then Great Eastern cannot be, don't do anything,
behind,
So I think chairman also went and banged table and, hey guys, wake up, we need to transform. So it just so happened that they were expanding the unit. And when I joined, I was a digital guy.
Yeah.
And as a digital guy with, in the land of blind man and the half, the half blind guy,
king,
one eye guy is king, right? So I was a bit like a one eye guy lah. I know a bit about design thinking now. I know about user experience, but I'm not the greatest practitioner. But because I knew more than the rest, I was just thrown in the deep end and say, hey, you lead user experience designer for our transformation unit. Go and transform all our major management systems. Go and transform our motor business. Motor business doesn't sell direct to end customers because our experience is not good. Figure out. We need better ways to engage our customers. Instead of every time buy something, there must be other ways for us to build relationship with our customers. These are all the problems. Go and solve it. So of course my MD very smart lah. So MD got different ideas. But we need someone to think through how to solve it. Design thinking. Help me get clarity and help me build a team that also was able to use that to convince stakeholders, hey, there's a real problem to solve here. Design the user experience, the customer journey. Understand the persona. Then we know who we're tackling and then commit our resource and time to build the right thing. I think we have finally gotten some fruit after like 10 years of it. You look at where Great Eastern is right now as a company, right? Hopefully that was a bit of what I contributed back then. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. And that's how we ENSO. So Andy, I think where you are, right, you see a lot of SMEs growing, and you see tech coming and things like that. My question to you is actually, what do you see the future?
Well, you have to talk about AI, right? I think the future, for our younger generation, those who are coming up into the marketplace soon, or those that are still in school, the future for them is really uncertain from the structured pathway perspective. And the sooner that they realize that they need to take their own fate in their own hands, quickly learn what are the tools available, and understand where opportunities are, the more ready they are to tackle it. If we look at, let's just say, computer science graduates, 2-3 years ago, still the hottest in demand job.
Yeah.
Then 1 year ago, all the layoffs, and they're like, right? Why did I study comp science? Maybe I shouldn't have. And now you look at AI replacing a lot of software engineering jobs, and it's even gloomier. So it just shows that the technology is changing industry and jobs so much quicker that I think everyone needs to just own the right skills to build their own future and not aim for just find the right job, aim for just a stable career, but where's your value that you as a person can contribute and learn the tools to build that. I think that's something not just for career, but in general, everyone needs that. More important now than ever. Yeah.
So then what's the biggest tip then you would like to share with the next generation on a personal note?
So the biggest tip for next generation is that you need to just take the first bold step, have the courage to learn something new. That happens, I think, for a lot of our young people. They learn the skills, but can they learn the skill and then think through how does that align with providing value for someone else? A lot of times we don't think that. We just think, okay, I learn the skill that I can do something well for myself. I can build this cool software that can help me make music, or I can help build this new tool that help me, attract, the opposite sex. Maybe they'll think about selfish problems that they want to solve. And that's a good start. But think, how can I add value to people who are also like me? Or people who also need something like this? And now all the knowledge is out there for you on how to build stuff. The tech is there, your Claude code, all that's available now with simple prompts. The younger generation will just need to have the courage to experiment, to realize that nothing is perfect the first time you do it, but keep doing it until you get somewhere.
Yeah.
Than to wait for someone to give you that job and then you start working for someone and then feeling miserable because it doesn't align to what you care about. I think more young people need to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, on that note, right, then what is the biggest business lessons that you like to share with the world?
This I also learned from some of my colleagues back in Carro. And they had business background before they even came to Carro. I was a bit perplexed when we kept using a few vendors and partners for the services that we're providing. Because I always thought as a marketplace, you want to tap onto everybody and optimize for price, right? But sometimes it's not about optimizing for price. It's about helping each other win. So,
partnerships and all.
Yeah. And then a more colloquial way of saying is, in business, I rather my friend make money from me than I help other people make money.
That's fair.
Because if I help him make money, he know that I'm there to help him. He also will help me.
That's right.
Right? So sometimes optimizing for price, when you're trying to squeeze everybody down, you forget that a lot of times businesses only survive because you have a network of other supplementary businesses to help you. And I'm sure for your businesses too.
Yeah.
Right? You've got this guy that you know, I got problem, I call you, you will do whatever to help me, and not go and haggle me your price or like, sorry, I can't do it. Like that. Yeah. So I'd rather find people that become friends and you help each other in business early. Then you have this network that you can grow together. And don't think I need to eat his lunch, eat that lunch, or I need to squeeze. No, I think business, there's enough for everyone to make and grow together.
Yeah.
And I think that mindset for any new entrant into the business world is the right mindset. Yeah.
And so with regards to, just like you mentioned, money, right? Any either business or life, what's the most critical finance habit that you like to share?
Go and buy ETFs.
ETFs.
Nothing is more stable than our markets. And you are
being invested.
Invested. Like a lot of people say, go and buy DBS sure hard one, right? And that's well, for Singapore example, maybe and it kind of worked, but no one can't believe it just 10 years ago, right? But ETFs came up not 10 years ago too, and you see how it's just tracking the market, and you look at the historical trend, S&P, it just follows, right? It will always grow.
Yeah.
Even though through the dips. So I think any business, not business like personal, please put your money into the market, but don't go and bet on different companies unless you are a maverick. Just buy the market, right? Buy an ETF. Or Look for a fund that is nicely spread out. Put money there to grow. And as a business, the finance tip is make sure you got cash flow. Lor. I think I've seen enough companies where you bet your whole company, right, to innovate something, outspend, then you really have not enough cash to sustain. And then those guys all die.
What's a good number for cash flow to be ready for?
Well, you need, I think, you need 6 months, man. Safe number is 6 months because you will be panicking how to raise the money. You need 3 to 6 months minimally to raise any money, right? Or you want to turn around the market, or the market suddenly dip. You don't have a 6 month, minimum 6 months, you sure die. And that's even talking about newer businesses. Traditional business, if you're heavy inventory, heavy on a lot of big contracts that stuck, more than 6 months, man. You really need a lot more cash flow than that.
Yeah, just now mentioning 18 months for his validation,
I
caught
18
that,
months. Safe.
Very safe, very safe. 18 months.
Government.
Alright, so Andy, for every single guest that sat on that hot chair there, right, we will ask this one question. And this question is, if there's one word they'll give to all inspiring young entrepreneurs out there, what would that one word be and why?
I think the word is try.
Try. Why?
You don't try, you really don't know. People fear failure. Like you fear you do something and then you just don't feel good, it doesn't work out. Or you feel people will laugh at you. But I feel that every failure I had becomes a badge of honor for me. And every time I teach my students a lesson, it's not teaching them about how good this thing was that I did. You're teaching them how stupid I was when I launched that thing that no one took. Or I made this call and then it backfired on me amazingly. And those stick. And those, once you have experienced that, wow, your instinct level grow, right? Right. So you don't try, you never build your success nor failure. And the cost of you not trying is actually bigger than the cost of trying these days. So young people, don't wait, just try. You got 2 hours, 3 hours, that you have lying around, don't go and scroll TikTok. Have an idea, just open your AI tools and just prompt it and see what comes out. And just keep trying and trying and trying.
Never know what will happen.
And you might get addicted to trying. Addicted to seeing success. And that's your path forward. Then to scroll TikTok and feel like, can I be an influencer there? Or why people doing so well but I'm not? Like, don't get stuck in that mental loop and not escape. Escape and just try.
Right. Yeah. And before we end our whole conversation, right, I'll put your attention to this camera here.
Sure.
Right. Any last piece of advice, right, to our viewers out there?
I think this comes from a bit of a personal conviction as well. I have friends who've commented and say, your career very weird. Why, you have been in so many industries and did so many different roles. And actually, I think that is where the value is. It's not about being a deep, single track specialist in this current day age. It's about how broad and how well-versed you are in different domains. And being a generalist actually can and should be the most desirable type of worker going forward. Because specialist is going to be your AI tools. You need someone who can then piece the different specialization and identify the opportunities across them. And only if you have experienced different domains, then you can become that part person to connect dots. So for anyone out there right now who think I need a very deep specialization on something, I'm telling you, branch out. Try something different. Learn a different domain. Develop your hobby. If you love music, you love sport, you love, watching TV, do that more, but become well-versed in that space because your domains can cross. Look at Steve Jobs and what he did with computing and using his knowledge of calligraphy because he learned calligraphy. So be the best generalist because in the future, the world belongs to the generalist.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you for listening. If you like what you have just heard, follow us for more content like this.